Morning, everyone. Welcome to Compliance Over Coffee. Hope everyone's well and had a good week so far. Today's topic, as you can see from the title, is that HMRC have recently updated their guidance on anti-money laundering for estate agents or estate agency businesses. And this is the guidance that I use and read. But remember that high street estate agents work in a different way than we do, and their contracted client is different. But I wanted to bring to your attention something that when I was reading through the other day, I noticed, because HMRC don't tell you what's been changed. You have to read it. And the reason that I was reading it the other day was because, as you know, people book free calls with me. And this particular call was posing me a complex question about a complex series of businesses that are interlinked within the property investment sector and about compliance for each business and the appropriate setup. And so when that happens and it's more complex, I go back to my guidance and I read through and then make notes. And in this particular instance, I happened to read something that wasn't pertinent to the question that I was going to answer. But the fact that for the first time that I'm aware of, and I've got a piece of paper here to read it to you exactly, HMRC have stated that they're interested in properties, land, etc., that are bought, sold, or are let, have a let on interest in. So what does that mean? So if you let an interest in, I think that means that will encompass rent to rent, rent to own, and potentially lease options. Because before, I'd always thought and read and understood that HMRC were interested in the purchasing of properties. But actually, it looks as if they're expanding to a certain extent into interest being let into properties. And probably the reason for that is that a lot of criminals purchase property through ill-gotten gains and then rent the property out, getting legitimate interest coming through. So they're washing their money by owning the property and then getting the money in. But also, of course, there can be large quantities of money that are passed over a period of time in the rent-to-rent section. So I would strongly suggest that anyone that is sourcing and focusing on rent to rent, rent to roam, rent to SA, whatever it is, and also lease options, which has the lease and then the purchase option on the end, that you read the guidance from HMRC that was updated, I believe, in June this year. It's on their website. So, as I say, HMRC regularly update. There's other changes in there as well, which I don't have time to go into this morning. I want to sit down and have a proper read through, and then any changes that I notice, I'll highlight, and we'll do some compliance over coffees on the individual topics, because it looks to me as if they've tightened up and expanded on when they believe the business relationship is formed and you should start all of your due diligence processes, or I've done them before that, and they've expanded on that section. So I want to have a better read on that, and I'll get back to you on that one. So that's it for this morning. HMRC, I believe, from briefly reading through, are interested in the lettings sector now, or if as an agent you are selling on you're letting an interest in a property. That's how they word it. So, as I say, rent to rent, rent to own, and potentially lease options as well with the let, and then the purchase on the back end may be pulled into that sector under our sourcing strategies. So that's it for Compliance Over Coffee this morning. Thank you for joining me. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will be back again with you next Thursday for more updates. Thank you. Bye for now.